years before John Singer Sargent, one of history's greatest portrait painters, debuted Carnation Liy Rose, his career was in freefall. Sargent had presented the now notorious portrait, Madame X. Critics declared, "Quelle horreur! Mr. Sargent made a mistake. Your dress is falling off." Sargent fled. How could he come back from this? Would he paint again? Was Carnation Liy Rose, which took 2 grueling years to complete, the answer? And would it change the course of British art forever? Welcome to Art Vault. In 1884, when John Singer Sargent unveiled Portrait of Madame X, originally titled Madame XXX, one of the dress straps hung seductively from its subject's shoulder. Today, the painting looks elegant, but that perception belies the sordid history of its impatient model, Virginie Amélie Gautreau, who was widely known for her affairs. Fame turned to infamy as viewers interpreted the bare shoulder, dangling strap, and exposed cleavage as a nod toward Gautreau's loose sexual morals. To paint a member of high society in such a suggestive manner was unprecedented. The public's reaction was so vehement that Sargent fled the country, and Gautreau's reputation was forever tarnished. Sargent fled France and took refuge in England. One evening in the summer of 1885, while boating on the Thames, Sargent witnessed something magical. 2 little girls lighting paper lanterns at twilight near Pangbourne. The innocent scene captivated him instantly. At the same time, in Sargent's circle, Robert Louis Stevenson was writing A Child's Garden of Verses. Sargent was inspired and began his quest to reproduce this magical vision. He began Carnation Liy Rose while staying at the home of the artist Francis David Millet, although the models for the 2 little girls, Polly, 7, right, and her sister Dorothy, Dolly, 11, left, were actually the daughters of the artist Frederick Barnard. Carnation Liy Rose is set in an English garden at Farnham House in Broadway in the Cotswolds. But Sargent had set himself an almost impossible task: twilight. The magical moment when the sky perfectly balances between day and night lasts mere minutes. He painted Carnation Liy Rose over 2 summer periods in 1885 and 1886. Each evening, Sargent had between 2 and 20 minutes. That's it. To capture that exact quality of light before it vanished, because Sargent was committed to painting on plein air. Painting on plein air was effectively painting in open nature, and it became a real credo for somebody like Monet, who Sargent was very close to at the time. The saying, "it takes a village," is an understatement. Edmund Gross, a prominent figure in the world of classical music who was there, described the great fun Sargent was stirring up in the community. The progress of the picture, when once it began to advance, was a matter of excited interest to the whole of our little artist colony. Everything was used to be placed in readiness. The easel, the canvas, the flowers, the demure little girls in their white dresses, before we began our daily afternoon lawn tennis, in which Sargent took his share. But at the exact moment, which of course came a minute or 2 earlier each evening, the game was stopped, and the painter was accompanied to the scene of his labors. Instantly, he took up his place at a distance from the canvas, and at a certain notion of the light, ran forward over the lawn with the action of a wagtail, planting at the same time rapid dabs of paint on the picture, and then retiring again, only with equal suddenness to repeat the wagtail action. All this occupied but 2 or 3 minutes, the light rapidly declining, and then while he left the young ladies to remove his machinery, Sargent would join us again, so long as the twilight permitted, in a last turn at lawn tennis. The seasons went from August till the beginning of November. Sargent would dress the children in white sweaters, which came down to their ankles, over which he pulled the dresses that appeared in the picture. He himself would be muffled up like an Arctic explorer. Nature itself became both Sargent's ally and adversary. Sargent spent 2 full years completing the painting that would become Carnation Liy Rose, and stored the unfinished canvas in the host's barn over the winter. A big part of the painting's magic lies in the quiet intimacy of the scene. Even though the girls are side by side, they're each in their own little world, together but also apart, lost in a kind of childhood trance. What stays with you long after you've stopped looking at the painting is the light. the soft orange glow reflected on their faces. In the midst of all the cool tones of the garden, it's like we've stumbled upon a secret, a fleeting, enchanted moment of innocence. In letters, he pointed out that he was hindered from completing the painting in September because it was the end of the flowering season. Taking no chances, when he returned to Broadway to finish the painting in the summer of 1886, he had a friend grow lilies in pots to extend his available time for working on the painting. Witnesses describe Sargent painting like a fencer, palette in one hand, unusually long brush in the other, lunging at the canvas, stepping back to observe, then lunging again. A physical performance as much as an artistic one. What he was doing was comparing all the time what he could see and then transcribe it onto the canvas. Even the title carries musical significance. Carnation Liy Rose. The title of this painting comes from the song The Wreath by the 18th century composer of operas, Joseph Mazzinghi, which was popular in the 1800s. Sargent and his friends frequently sang around the piano at Broadway, the house where this was painted. A wreath around her head she wore, Carnation Liy Rose. In 1887, Carnation Liy Rose was first exhibited in the Royal Academy's summer exhibition to a fiercely divided critical reception. A review of the exhibition in the art journal notes, Mr. Sargent is certainly the most discussed artist of the year, as artists almost come to blows over this picture. The Pall Mall Gazette, a paper widely read by the middle classes, featured Carnation Liy Rose in the category Pictures You Would Least Like to Live With, as voted by the readers. But others saw brilliance. In a write-up of the show in the Magazine of Art, the painting was praised as an extremely original and daring essay in decoration. Carnation Liy Rose was bought by the Royal Academy for the British public through the Chantry Bequest, a special trust fund received by the Royal Academy. Royal Academy President, Lord Leighton, supported the acquisition. Contemporaries often viewed Sargent's work as unfinished due to his boldly gestural technique. From a distance, Dolly's hand appears perfectly rendered, but up close, it dissolves into abstract brushstrokes, a deliberate approach many critics dismissed as excessively sketchy. Examining this painting in such intimate detail reveals the remarkable fusion of meticulous effort, thoughtful consideration, and artistic spontaneity that produced what many considered the pivotal work in English Impressionism. Indeed, this masterpiece likely did more than salvage Sargent's career. It transformed British art by finally winning public acceptance for Impressionist techniques that had previously been viewed with skepticism. Today, Carnation Liy Rose hangs in the Tate Britain, where it remains one of the gallery's most beloved paintings. Those glowing lanterns still captivate viewers more than a century later. What began as a fleeting moment on the Thames, a vision of children, flowers, and lanterns in the twilight, became Sargent's redemption and one of the most magical paintings in British art. What do you think of Carnation Liy Rose? Leave a comment below, and thanks for watching Art Vault.